The Battle of Midway was a big and important naval battle in World War II. It marked a significant shift in the balance of power in the Pacific theater. It happened 6 months after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, a devastating event that had left the American fleet in disarray and the nation in shock. The battle took place between June 4th and June 7th, 1942, spanning 4 intense days of combat that would determine the future course of the war. The United States Navy decisively defeated the Imperial Japanese Navy, showcasing superior strategy and resilience despite being outnumbered. It is often called the turning point of the war in the Pacific, as it halted Japanese expansion and began a series of American offensives. The Battle of Midway was a clash of strategies, technologies, and sheer will. Both sides employed their best tactics and most advanced equipment in a bid for supremacy. For the Japanese, it was an opportunity to deal a death blow to the American fleet and solidify their hold on the Pacific, aiming to force the United States into a negotiated peace. For the Americans, it was a chance to defend their homeland and turn the tide of the war. The bravery and determination of the American forces were pivotal in securing this crucial victory. Japan's goal was to capture Midway Island. Midway was a strategically important island in the Pacific Ocean. Japan wanted to use Midway as a base to launch more attacks on the United States. They also hoped to draw the remaining American aircraft carriers into a trap and destroy them. The Japanese were confident in their ability to defeat the Americans. They believed their navy was superior. They thought their pilots were better trained. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shape the destiny of nations. The Japanese plan was complex. It involved a feint towards the Aleutian Islands to divide the American forces. The main Japanese fleet, under Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, would then attack Midway. The Japanese were counting on the element of surprise. They believed that the Americans would be caught off guard. The attack on Midway began on June 4, 1942. Japanese aircraft bombed the island, causing significant damage. However, the Americans were ready for them. They had broken the Japanese naval code and knew an attack was coming. The battle had begun. What followed was a series of furious air battles, a clash of titans in the sky. The skies over the Pacific roared with the sound of engines and gunfire as American and Japanese pilots fought for supremacy. American dive bombers launched from their carriers caught the Japanese carriers in a vulnerable position. These brave pilots, flying through a hail of anti-aircraft fire, aimed to deliver a decisive blow. With their decks full of fueled and armed aircraft, the Japanese carriers were sitting ducks. The chaos on deck made it nearly impossible for the Japanese to mount an effective defense. American bombs rained down on the Japanese fleet, turning the tide of the battle. 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, and Hiryu, were sunk, along with hundreds of aircraft and thousands of sailors. The destruction was immense, leaving a trail of burning wreckage and oil-slicked waters. The loss of these carriers, the pride of the Japanese fleet, was a devastating blow from which the Imperial Japanese Navy would never fully recover. This marked a turning point in the Pacific War, shifting the balance of naval power in favor of the Allies. The Battle of Midway was a pivotal turning point in the Pacific War. This crucial battle, fought between June 4th and 7th, 1942, saw the United States Navy decisively defeat an attacking fleet of the Imperial Japanese Navy. It marked the end of Japan's offensive operations. The Japanese fleet suffered heavy losses, including 4 aircraft carriers, which were a significant blow to their naval capabilities. From this point onward, Japan would be on the defensive. The once dominant Japanese forces now had to focus on protecting their remaining territories and resources. The balance of power in the Pacific had shifted decisively in favor of the United States. This shift allowed the U.S. to take the offensive and begin reclaiming territory lost to Japan earlier in the war. The victory at Midway boosted American morale and shattered the aura of invincibility that had surrounded the Japanese military. It was a significant psychological victory as well as a strategic one. The United States gained the strategic initiative, allowing them to launch a series of island-hopping campaigns. These campaigns would eventually lead them to the Japanese home islands, setting the stage for the final phases of the Pacific War. The Battle of Midway was more than just a naval battle. It was a clash of ideologies, a struggle for supremacy in the Pacific, and a defining moment in the Second World War. The echoes of this battle can still be felt today. Midway serves as a reminder of the human cost of war, the importance of strategic thinking, and the courage of those who fought on both sides of the conflict. It is a battle that continues to fascinate and inspire, reminding us of the pivotal moments that shape our world.